Book 4. Morvril looked at the doctor's face. It was pale, and the eyes were closed, but there was a tension in the eyelids, in the muscles of the face, which told her that he was conscious. She had toyed with his death, testing him, watching him fail to retrieve his time machine time after time, until she was quite sure that he could not retrieve it, that it was destroyed. So she had told him her story, not just because she needed to tell it, not just because he deserved to hear it, but also to keep him alive long enough for her to be satisfied. Now she was satisfied. He couldn't bring back the TARDIS. It was dead. Soon the doctor would be dead too, as soon as she'd finished her story. When I woke up after killing the alien, it was dark. After a moment I realized that this was because there was a spaceship moving across the sky. Vast, sharp-edged, dark as the night sky, and outlined by the stars around it. I'd worked out a few things while I slept. I suppose you do, even when the sleep is a preparation for death. Perhaps especially then. Anyway, I knew that this immense machine in the sky had come to destroy me because I had destroyed one of its people. I'd realized that the alien I'd killed was a human, despite the body armor. I think I'd worked out that the armor, like the glittering fiber optics around her eye, was a machine. And I knew that this was an invasion, that the humans wanted to destroy us. I'd remembered the Earth reptile's warning, and worked out what it had meant. Poor Pakip, I thought. He should have listened to his friend. I was quite calm. I didn't care, you see. I knew now that the humans had decided to destroy us, as they had destroyed others before. If that was the case, then everyone, every tractite of every land was going to die. My death, at least, would be a deserved one. I even thought that it was possible that all of Tractis deserved to die. For surely, if the Earth Empire with all its glittering power had decided we weren't fit to exist, it must be true. So I lay there, a tiny, half-dead, horsey quadruped, and I waited for the explosion of light which would kill me and absolve me of my crime. It didn't happen, of course. Perhaps if I'd been moving around, and anyone on the ship had noticed I was alive, they might have taken the trouble to kill me. But more probably not. They had other business. So the ship crawled overhead, an inverted landscape of dead, jagged metal, and it didn't even notice me. An hour after it was gone, I was still waiting for death, only half conscious, when there was a false sunrise on the northern horizon. I stood up on shaky legs and took my bearings. There was only one city in that direction, Noctutis, the capital of our land, the city of my dreams, the city of all that spice and perfume and dancing and gold and beauty, the city I had never actually seen, but dreamed of so much, and one day hoped to see. And now that city was dead. I think it was the death of my dream, rather than the deaths of the 2 million or so of my people living in the city, that affected me then. It made me angry. Angry enough to want to live. At least, to live long enough to find out what had happened, whether we really deserved this, and, if so, why? So, I took the weapon from the thing that I had killed, and started to try to understand the function of the switches and levers attached to it. I don't think I was consciously planning to kill any more invaders. Not as such. That was still a taboo. I was just trying to find a way to survive, for a few days at least. I think I somehow imagined I would hijack one of their flitters and get off the planet. I thought about trying to find the Earth reptile, Menarch, and asking him to intercede with the Empress for us. But as the days passed and the refugees came out from the cities, thousands of them, starving, terrified, I began to realize what the invasion really meant. It wasn't just the end of my dreams, but the end of a whole world. Our world was being picked apart, a whole complex web of culture and civilization, a worthy civilization, was being reduced to nothing more than a few random glimmerings, like the movement of light along those fibre-optic cables in the dead human's eye. I realized the value of the peaceful, dull, tractite culture I had been brought up in only as it was being destroyed. I could tell you many stories, deaths, nightmares. But this is my story. And I dare say you've heard and seen more than enough stories like that on your travels. What's more important is the effect that it all had on me. Slowly, I became a killer. Killing in self-defense became killing in the defense of others, became killing in anticipation of attack, became killing for the sake of killing. I don't know when I actually started to enjoy it. When I discovered I could have bloodlust, just as if I were a carnivore. When I started torturing the humans, just as they had tortured us. When I started drinking their blood, for the salt, for the hatred. But I knew that it silted up my mind, thickened it. I had nightmares in which I killed my brother and his wife and their child, in which I pulled the trigger on a vast blaster weapon, and burnt out Cephalus and Noctutus and all those people and all my dreams. I had become my enemy. Can you understand that? The doctor's eyes opened, but he said nothing. After a while, Morvril went on. Can you understand, then, how we felt when we found the time tree? Can you understand how we realized that this strange alien plant with its orange leaves and its appetite for heavy metals could actually turn back time? And knew that we had to do it. At first, we were going to sabotage the invasion, but how? We would have to smuggle a 6-meter tree into orbit, position it exactly, and make it travel back an exact number of years. No, it was too difficult. The nature of the plant made precise settings impossible. We needed a broad, easy target. And I thought of it. You can understand it, can't you? The temptation? It would all just go away. The invasion would simply never have been. All of our terrible crimes would vanish. Our lust, our hatred would be gone. We would never have to drink blood. We would be clean again. And the human race would never have existed. Of course, it wasn't easy. Our first jump only took us back 1,000 years for some reason. One of my people was left behind in the confusion that followed, with a seedling from the tree. I don't know what he did. He may have tried to continue the mission. Some of the things that Kittig has said make me think this could be the case. The second jump was better. We arrived in a primitive human village. But one of the humans got into the tree, and one of my soldiers panicked and shot it. The tree jumped out of control. We ended up here. There were no humans, and astronomical evidence suggests we have arrived before the human race evolved. What else is there to do but survive? And in surviving, replace our enemies? Doctor, do you understand what we have done? There has been no killing. Only one small village of humans has died. And yet, we have destroyed the human race. Kittig has told me the story of his people, the mystery of their origin, the fact that they are peaceful. Doctor, I want to believe that you will accept that what we have done, what we have achieved, is the best future for the universe. I want you to believe that. I want you to forgive me before you die. Please, Doctor. The doctor stirred at last. The blue-green eyes opened, turned to meet Morvril's. After a long while he spoke. If you want me to forgive you... A rattling breath. A silence. Yes. Morvril wondered if he would beg for mercy. Fetch Kittig.